All right, so today in math, we are going to regroup. And if you remember from Thursday, I gave you 3-digit subtraction, but there was no regrouping. You just subtracted the ones, subtracted the tens, subtracted the hundreds. There was no borrowing. Today, we're gonna borrow, but it's only gonna be the ones column that doesn't have enough. We're gonna take it little by little and build up until we have to do a lot of borrowing. So here's my first problem. 573 minus 248. So the first thing I need to do, I look at my ones column and I remember my poem. Where's the bigger number? Think about which number is larger. Is it the 3 or the 8? It's the 8. So I take my crayon or colored pencil and I circle my bigger number. Okay, now that I know which is my larger number, then I think, is there more on the top? Is there more on the floor? More on the top, more on the floor. Well, when there's more on the floor, we have to go next door and borrow from our neighbor. Take 10 back over to this column. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So we know our 8 is the larger number. It's on the floor. We need to go next door and borrow. So we are going to borrow from the tens. We're going to borrow from the 7. And we're going to cross it off, and the 7 becomes, think about it while I write it down. We take 1 10 away from that 7, and that 7 becomes a 6. Then we take those 10s, and when they go from the tens column to the ones column, they become 10 ones, and that 3 isn't a 3 anymore. We're adding 10 plus the number that's there, 10 plus 3. So 10 plus 3, think about it. 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, so start over. More on the top or more on the floor? Now I have more on the top and there's no need to stop. I can go right ahead and subtract. So I want to do 13 minus 8. And that is 5. All right, then I go to my tens column. Now, our tens column isn't the last column anymore. So we have to start over with our poem. Which is a larger number? Is it 6 or 4? It's right at 6. So the 6 is on the top. No need to stop. I can go ahead and subtract 6 minus 4, and that is 2. Okay, I didn't need to borrow. So when you don't need to borrow, then you just treat this, whatever columns are left, you treat them just like normal. So 5 minus 2, more on the top. I can go ahead and subtract, don't need to stop. 5 minus 2 is 3. So my final answer is 325. Okay, let's do one more. Now this should be it might be rusty, but it should be in your brain because it's really no different than when we did the 2-digit subtraction with regrouping. We're just adding the hundreds column, but it's just there. We're not doing anything to it. We can just go ahead and subtract that hundreds column. We're going to do all of those types of problems today and Tuesday. Okay, so we only don't have enough in the ones column, and we're only needing to borrow from the tens column. And so just pretend for the time being that the hundreds column isn't there. Once you have your ones and your tens taken care of, then just go ahead and subtract that hundreds column like normal. Today and Tuesday, all of the problems are going to be just like that. Okay, so here's one more example. So my second example is going to be 871 minus 429. So you can use any of the strategies that we've already done. So remember when we were just trying to focus on one place value column at a time, you can put that dotted line in between your place value columns so you can just focus on one at a time. Remember how we did that? But you definitely, you need to be circling the larger number in each place value column when you get to it. So I'm looking at my ones. There's a 1 and a 9 in that place value column. So I circle my larger number, and this time it is the 9. The 9 is on the floor, so we have to go next door to the 7, okay? So we're borrowing from the 7. We cross off the 7 becomes, we take 1 away from that 7. The 7 becomes a 6. And we take that group of 10, we add it to our 1. So we're adding 10 plus 1. This 1 isn't a 1 anymore. No, it is an 11. Okay, more on the top. Now, 11 minus 9. 11 minus 9, that's 2. Okay, check out the tens column. We have a 6 and a 2. More on the top. No need to stop. 6 minus 2. That is 4. Okay. And then my hundreds column is just like normal. Subtract 8 minus 4. There's more on the top. Just go ahead and subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4. And so your final answer is 442. Okay, now, if you're thinking this is super duper easy, great. It's gonna get harder. If you are super duper rusty on your subtraction facts, you need to practice them, because when it does get harder, it's going to take you a long, long time to do all of these problems, and I don't want that to happen. So you need to practice your subtraction facts. You need to know them, because there is a tricky part that we're gonna learn either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. And if you don't know the subtraction facts, it's gonna be super, super tricky, okay? So that's what we're doing just for tomorrow and Tuesday. And then we will go from there and make it a little bit more difficult each day that we work on it, okay?